Hey, what's good, y'all? It's C Will, and this is the Passive Income Network. On this channel, we talk about creating assets that produce passive income. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment and say what's good. On this episode, we got a special feature. I'm bringing one of the homies through. We're going to introduce them to Algorand and talk about some real estate, some home ownership. So let's bring AB to the show.
Yeah, what's good with you?
Hey man, yeah, just having a good time, man. What's good though? Oh yeah, so just a little set up the scene. This is one of the homies right here that I known for a long time. You know, my guy Alex doing his thing out there. He be traveling with the fam, buying houses and whatnot. But I want to introduce him to Algorand and then bring him on so we could talk that talk. But yeah, Alex, you want to say what's good to the audience?
What's good, everybody? Shout out to my brother Chris. C Will, you know, he got a bunch of nicknames. I'll get into it later, but
Yep.
appreciate for having me on here. It's been a while since I touched the mic.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to begin this show, Algorand, you know, I'm Algorand ambassador, always talking about the crypto, but I want to know what you know about crypto.
I know a little something, not as much as I should, you know. I'm not really a big, huge fan of crypto. I was introduced probably, I want to say like 2019, 20, yeah, so 18, 19. Especially when Nip was talking about it a lot, you know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. Shout out to Nipsey.
So, can I ask you a question
Yep.
before so you know where the market is right now?
Oh yeah.
I think we've seen highs of like 61.
Bitcoin, you talking about Bitcoin?
Yeah, just Bitcoin. I know there's more than that, but I just wondering where's people's headspace now where you see it, you know, not all cryptos, you know, decreasing, but
yeah,
I wonder,
they all got hit. They all got hit. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, from my knowledge and understanding, for me, and that's what I'm talking to my peoples about. I'm seeing buying opportunities for the long term. You know, so we thinking short term, for sure you're going to get wrecked, or you already been wrecked because a lot of people, you know, didn't realize like the market was at its peak in November, and ever since November, even stocks, everything has only been on the downtrend for 7 months, 8 months. So I think it's a good time. But some of the analysts out there saying Bitcoin could hit 9,000. And that's another 50% drop. So that's what I mean. Like you could get wrecked. So I always talk to people about DCAing, dollar cost averaging, buy a little bit at the same time every week or every month. I think that's the best play if you ain't like super deep in the game, but you want to get some.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's my answer. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good answer. It's a safe answer. You know what I mean? Especially if you're about your money.
man. Because if we want a complicated answer, I'm like, okay. There was guys out there I follow. What's his name? Blockchain Backer and stuff. He always know where the highs at. And then what I found also is there's this one chart called Fear and Greed Index. And if you just watch that chart, it'll show you basically it's a combination of a whole bunch of metrics like social media. It gets people's emotions. They talk about buying, how much relevance it is on the internet, and mix all these together, and it basically tracks how we feel about Bitcoin. So every time it's over the 60 mark, that means you should probably sell it. And if it's under 30, you could probably buy it. And that's like just reading the rough thing.
Yeah.
But the complicated thing is that people short it. You can short it and make money on the way down. That's it. So there's always money.
Right.
I'm just trying to get better. No, I ain't short Bitcoin. I did not short Bitcoin.
I'm not judging you.
Just to throw that out there.
You know what YG says, scared money don't make no money. So you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I'm still learning though. I still got a lot more to learn and grow. So
what you know about Bitcoin? You know what you know about Bitcoin, I'll say, versus Ethereum.
It's apples and oranges for me. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get a little introduction then. Well, so I'm always talking about Algorand. Algorand is more similar to Ethereum. It's basically, I always compare, one of the things is good, it's like, think about it like Shopify. You can put your store on there and you can build on it, but you're using Shopify software, right? And that's how I see Algorand. So it's an opportunity for people to build real estate products on it, or build basically financial products, video games, NFTs, anything you can kind of think of. It's like you can build it. And the key is that it's carbon neutral. So we ain't creating pollution or nothing. Got to be positive about that.
Green.
Yeah. And when you compare it to Bitcoin or Ethereum, the fees is basically zero on Algorand. So that means if you use the blockchain, you don't need much money. You can get around with $1 all week if you wanted to go play around. You can't do that on Bitcoin. You definitely can't do that on Ethereum. So
Right.
another thing, then the third is just like ease of use, basically. It's simple. Transactions take 4 seconds to finalize. So if I wanted to send you money right now, I know I should have had you set up a wallet. I'll just send you it right now. You'd have got it so fast, you'd have been surprised. Like
Right.
this was
Right.
Ethereum, I'd have been like, hold up, bro, let's just wait.
It take that long?
Yeah. Like
Man.
sometimes 30 minutes, an
I
hour.
see like websites or some places that accept like Ethereum. I be seeing it like it has like you can pay through that, but I don't think I ever even owned any Ethereum. So
yeah, I own a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna say it's not a good asset to own though. I ain't saying
I
that.
hit like I don't know what is the proper way, is it Doge or Dogecoin? But I hit on that back when everybody was like cashing out.
Mhm.
One day I was on there. Actually, my cousin Lovey put me on like a couple years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago. Yeah. So
Yep. The love, spread the love.
I think I hit like 2,000% or something on there. So
God,
it was pretty.
well,
nice.
I mean, you did what you were supposed to do, in and out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like I had to learn that too. Like I rode some things all the way up and I rode it back down, but I did that only like once. You know, I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna see something 4x and then not take the money out. Basically, I don't care what it is. I don't like you. Whatever you drop 100, you see 5 on the ground, you take all that shit.
I think the last thing I seen, because it's not like I follow people really, but like just on social media, the algorithm on what I see on the Explorer page. So I seen Waka Flocka. He was like saying how he lost millions when the Bitcoin went down. But it's like, man, I just, you know what I mean? Like that's just so hard to. I ain't never made $1 million, but to lose millions, you know what I mean? But I guess it was part of the game. It seemed like he was upset, but he wasn't really tripping. He was like,
Waka's smart too. So I know that hurt, you know, but he probably
I know he ain't the only one, you know what I mean? Like I know, people was deep in it. Yeah.
Like so there was another coin. If you have you heard of Terra Luna?
Nah.
Ooh, this was bad. So this just happened recently. I don't know, about a few weeks ago. Basically, it was a top 10 coin, meaning about 50 billion worth of money on there. Just 50 billion. So it's a hella big top 10, or maybe I think it was like top 5 possibly. But it's a somewhat they call an algorithmic stable coin. So basically an algorithmic dollar, but it depegs. So the dollar that you're supposed to have when you want to trade it in for $1, it was no longer worth $1. Some weird stuff happened, and then it went all the way down. I think at the low to like 18 cents. So imagine you got $1, but they go, here, cash it at the bank. They give you 18 cents. You know what I mean? So that caused it was hell. So that whole chain went from 60 billion all the way down to like $2 million worth. People selling this
just like that.
And one day the chart go. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah,
it was like some. Yeah, we were, we was in high school, but it was some some like market crash shit, or was it the stock the 01 .com bubble, it like burst. It was bad. 60 billion.
Here we go again, huh?
Yeah, so Do Kwon, if you out here, man, they after you. That's but I'm just playing though. Shout out to Do Kwon. But yeah, that's what happened. So again, that's why Algorand. Let me throw some more facts at you. So what they did with the Terra Luna is that it's supposed to be decentralized, right? Mm-hmm. They shut the chain down and they halted it, and then all the exchanges wouldn't let you stop selling it after it got crushed so much, so people was left holding the bag. And then the thing with Algorand, you can't fork it, meaning like you can't make it into 2 chains like Ethereum. Something bad happened on Ethereum when they got hacked. They just created a new one, and everybody we're going this way. The other thing is called Ethereum Classic. It's still around, So Bitcoin has been solid. Nothing like that has happened.
Right.
But Algorand, so you can't fork it. You can't divide it to a fork in the road and turn it to 2, and you can't shut it down. And it's been it just had its 3-year birthday. and
Okay.
3 years strong.
Yeah.
And a block every 4.4 seconds, and the block is just another information in the chain, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pushing, basically. It's pushing. I think I call early Apple, early Amazon. That's where I feel like we're at. And you know what they did?
Like one of the ones, huh?
They wanted the ones. And Algorand just got a deal with FIFA, so we know soccer is huge. That they're gonna do the digital strategy, some back end support with they probably the NFTs. I'm thinking the tickets and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's about to be fire. Yeah.
I might have to download this. I'll download it anyway, but I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. I know, Lofty
It ain't gonna
AI,
hurt.
huh? Nah, it ain't
It
gonna
ain't
hurt.
gonna hurt. Yeah.
Ah, man. So this is a good transition.
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
so even myself right now, it's hard for me to try to go buy a piece of property, right?
Right.
So, and I know you got a piece of property, definitely. So, what was it like? I'll say the first time you bought a house. What was that experience like? Just going through the process. I know you got to have your bank loans. You got all of this stuff you got to do. What was that experience like?
The worst, I guess for me, I bought my first house 20. I want to say 2017.
Mm.
So for me, the reason why I knew when I tell you I knew nothing about this,
Yeah.
like I knew nothing, right? But what I did know, we were renting. This is when we were living in DC, Maryland, really, but we were renting, and then we were renting, and then we rented another place, right?
Yeah.
The last place we were at, we had so me, Ashley, which is my wife,
Yep.
and our 2 kids, and then Felicia was living with us, which is our sister.
Yep.
The roof, it was a pretty big house. We was on there was like 3 bedrooms upstairs. There was a main level, and then there was a apartment suite sort of on the lower level where Felicia stayed, like in the basement, I guess.
Mhm.
So we would get like floods, like the basement would
Oh,
flood up
hell
if it was a heavy rain, which would be annoying. Then you got the mildew, and then you got to get all of it out. And then our ceiling, the ceiling in my kids' room had like a leak. And my
yeah.
kids are like under 2 years old. I'm like, bro, hell
Hell
no.
no.
This is sick. So I'm like, okay, we our lease is coming up. I don't want to stay here anymore. The landlord person she was a decent lady.
She won't fix nothing though.
You know what I mean? Take her time with it. She thought she
Yeah.
was doing the best she could, but it was kind of it wasn't the best house. She liked us, but she even tried to sell us the house, and I was like, man, this lady can see something in us and try to sell us his house. Like, I'm like, man, I need to go buy my own crib. So
Hey.
I think we had about a month left on our lease, and the lady was gonna let us do month to month, but she knew that we were, trying to find something. And my
Yeah,
wife
trying
was
to get
just,
y'all out basically
yeah,
then.
we weren't even married then, but Ashley was stressed. Like, I'm like, man, don't trip. Like, we're gonna find something cool. Don't worry about it. So this is when I first this is like day one of me. Usually, when you go through the home buying process, you do all this stuff, and it takes about 30 days, 30 to
Yep.
45 days to close on the house. So I'm negative. I'm like at negative, 10-day. Like, I'm thinking like, man, this is a possibility. I have no idea what to do.
You're 10
You
days
know what
in.
I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, man, I just know I need to prepare like a foundation, a better home, a better space for my family. So that's what it was. It wasn't necessarily about money or anything like that when I,
Yep.
get
It's
into
like,
it, but it
yeah.
was more like, and I know you got a partner now, and then
Oh,
it
everything
like,
changed.
right. So then it even increases more when you have
Yes.
kids. Like,
Oh
I'm
man.
thinking like, bro, I can't go out like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you
I
did it at
will
the right
say,
time.
yeah, I would say I started preparing myself to purchase a home. I know this is a lot of backstory,
No,
but
no, this is perfect. This is what they like to hear. I'm like,
okay.
tap
So
in, tap
the
in.
backstory behind that is just like we were splitting rent up. So I think our rent at the time was like 22. Like, this is East Coast. It was like
Mhm.
2,200. And this is like 2017. So
So,
it wasn't
that's
cheap.
that
Now
ain't
they
cheap.
probably charging like $4 for that. I
Yeah,
don't know, but
yeah. Oof.
but we were like splitting it up in a way. I don't remember how much each of us was paying, but whatever it was fair, like we were splitting it up.
Mhm.
Ashley was still in dental school, so it wasn't like she had a full-time job. Me and Felicia was working full-time, but
Yep.
you start putting your money to the side, and you know me, which most people
So you had a shoe problem.
most people from Oregon, Portland, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Nike Town, y'all.
One of the
Nike
vices
Town.
is buying shoes, you know what I
Being
mean?
fly.
When you move away from Oregon, you know what I'm saying, that you don't get that discount like you used to.
Full
So
price.
now you paying full price for shoes. And so I prepared myself, which was I was working, I don't know, when I was out on the East Coast, it was like very educated Black people, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so growing up in Portland, you don't get that as often.
No, not at all.
Your peers might be real educated, but the elders, you know what I mean? Educated as in like college and stuff like that. Not saying people.
Yeah, lawyers, doctors,
Yeah.
and
So
things of that nature.
You get to move around.
Politicians and shit.
Yeah, so it was very inspiring. So I was working in education. This was probably like my third year, you know what I mean, into the career or whatever. So you start getting around older Black men and Black women, and they teaching you how to protect your family and assets and this and that. I don't even know how to fill out.
They jump in the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I still asking the HR like, how do I fill out this? You got to do all your 401k stuff and all that health benefits. I don't, you know what I mean. I don't know none of that, but what I do is observe. And I'm not afraid to ask questions. Yeah, so it was one of those times where I was challenging myself. Like, man, I could save money, although I'm spending money, and I'm thinking about my kids' future. I'm like, all right, let me cut back on something. And the only thing that really was like I'm spending dumb money on was sneakers. So you know what I did? I just didn't buy none for 1 year.
Damn.
And I didn't buy. Yeah. I mean, I probably got like some Adidas or something here and there. You know what I mean? But or some like $30 Nikes. Yeah, but I wasn't buying Jordans or like nothing expensive for real. And so
Air Max.
Just I was still clean. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you a dad. It's like, man, I ain't worried about. I still got shoes from high school. Now. I still got shoes from high school and college. And I'm clean. Like I'm still clean. Nobody else is noticing these things. Yeah. I'm new out here. Don't nobody. They wearing New Balances, so it don't even matter. So prepping up for this time, I've been saving because that's just what I've been saving since I was in third grade. Like I've been saving money. You know what I mean?
It's a good principle.
So, yeah. So one day I
call that dry powder and investing. You have to dry powder. You know what I mean?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So one day we're looking, I'm on Zillow, probably Trulia, whatever, looking for probably rentals at this time still, like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And then them little ads pop up, like call me type stuff.
Oh, you clicked it?
I called one of these dudes and was trying to get like some more knowledge about what I could do. I don't even think the first phone call went well. Like it was just like, nah, this ain't it.
Sketch, yeah.
Continuing, I'm looking at homes, and now I'm starting to like go visit these homes. Like this was a big step because you get a little confidence. You know what I mean? So I'm looking. I probably started looking around the 250s, 250,000.
Yep. That's like condo now.
That ain't. You can't even. Can't even get. Okay, I'm gonna jump to another story.
No, you good.
This is random as hell. But somebody that was at my house, a family member the other day, I ain't gonna say who it is because it's not that important. They said that they got approved for 250,000, right? And so I was like, and they live in Portland. They live on like Alberta area, like something. They renting right now.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get out of the rent cycle. And I said, where can you even live? And she was like, nowhere.
Nowhere.
I got bored. I went in there, typed in. I was like, well, how far outside of Portland could you live? And there was nothing. There was like 3 condos that wasn't condos. Like,
they
like little flat projects, but really they trying to turn them into condos, like saying you can get apartment number 3.
Yeah. You need 750, 800 in Alberta now, an area.
And some people want to live where they grew up. You know what I mean? Everybody don't want to live to move to the numbers.
And it's dangerous out there.
And it's bodies every day. It's sick, bro. It's really messed up. So think about the number that I was looking at to the number of 2022 in Portland is like you can't get nothing. But anyway, so jumping back over here. So I'm going to visit a couple places. The first place we went, I was like, I guess this is okay. Like, it ain't I can't see no leaks or nothing in here, But they asked me, do you have a realtor or whatever? You know, when you go in the door, they trying to market and try to see if you're gonna waste their time or not.
Of
People
course.
sitting at the, you know, the people showing the property. I was
Yeah,
like,
they trying to
no.
make their money. Yeah.
Right. So they gave me a card, like, here, call them. They could probably represent you type stuff. So I called, set up a meeting with the realtor and tell him what I was looking for. And he was like, all right, let's get to it. And I'm like, for real? And then I'm like going along with it like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a
Wait,
little
wait.
bit of information.
So was this before like bank pre-approval?
This
Or
is
is this
before bank
before?
approval
Oh,
and
so you just
everything.
went
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there to
So
okay,
I'm like,
get your eyes on
I'm
it.
just out there. I think this is when like commercials of Rocket Mortgage start coming
Yep.
out. I ain't do
They
none of that.
popping.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I'm cool. Like I'm gonna figure this out. Like I'm following a journey. I don't know if God got me going here or whatever, but I'm like,
Yeah.
all I know is my family ain't living in here, and we're not gonna be homeless. So like, I'm
Facts.
stuck between those two places right there. So then I go sit down with the guy. After, like we meet we meet over the phone, and then he meets me at another place, and then I go to his office, talk to him, tell him what I'm about, what I do, blah blah
Mhm.
blah.
It's like dating
I'm
a
like,
little bit.
man, it's kind of like dating because it's
Yeah.
like the dude. You know, I'm living in a black community at this
So
point.
everybody's black basically.
PG
Unlike
County,
Portland.
and
Yeah.
my realtor is white.
Oh.
Which
Okay.
I didn't choose him. It kind of like I just called the number,
That's some
blah blah
Portland
blah.
shit.
Yeah, so I'm just like, the hell. And so he's a little quirky dude. Like I still got his number. Like I could call him today. He cool as hell.
Mhm.
But he you know, he dressed like a basketball coach. Like he just a smooth white dude, whatever. And you know, anyway, so I'm telling him this, and he meets Ashley, and you know, I'm looking at her to see if, like, you trust this dude or not. You know what I mean? At this point, it's like I don't
Yeah.
know, but you know, anyway. So then, yeah, this is when they, you know, they ask you how much. It's kind of like when you go buy a car, sort
Yeah,
of, where
yeah.
they start asking you all
Showing you
this,
what
like,
yeah.
what do you
Figuring
do?
out
What do
what
you
your
blah blah
balance is.
blah.
And what you looking for and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how many houses did you have to look at to actually when you purchased?
Before I found one, it's like, all right, we looked at around 5 probably.
Ooh,
Like,
that's not bad.
not yeah. So we go in at a point. I don't even know if he emailed me these or whatever, but it's like I told him what I'm looking for. I was looking for at least 3 bedrooms with like an apartment suite
Mhm.
somewhere, so Felicia could live there and be comfortable. Because I ain't trying to be like right next door, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
because she
Want some
grown, whatever.
space.
Yeah. So we looked at some. The one I I got a picture I could bring later, so you can post it as a thumbnail or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But so we looked. There's a couple of them. There was like some newer townhomes. This is one Ashley kind of really wanted, but I was like, nah, I'm cool. We
A little
looked at this
sketch.
We looked at the
Yeah.
townhouse, and it kind of has like a shared parking lot where you park your cars, whatever. And I seen like some old schools out there like covered up, like they ain't touched them cars. Like I don't know if I want to share space like that. So we ended up going with
Yeah,
a
where they
single
might. Yeah.
family home. That home had some newer like bigger bedrooms and stuff like that, but
It was like
I don't know.
attached to another one then.
Yeah, so they're like,
I don't want nothing like that.
yeah, but it was
So,
the inside
yeah.
was clean, and then it needed the biggest thing it needed some deck stairs from the second floor, like they had a patio and must have not been up to code, so it was knocked down. I was like, man, I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so we ended up settling on that. But yeah, the process wasn't as bad. It was after I said, yeah, I want this one. They approved me. They told me what number was before I started looking.
Yeah, yeah. So you knew your numbers. You had one real estate agent, and y'all worked it and made it happen.
Yeah, and they were all in his company, which he was working for. His son was like the owner of the company. He was a dad. And he was
so he was a grown. Oh, okay. For sure.
so he was an old dude. So he going down. Don't worry about this or this is. I wouldn't do this or I mean, they all trying to sell you on stuff, especially your first time. It's like a car salesman. Like you can't really trust them, that much. But it's like I'm trying to see what he got a little bit more knowledge than me. But at the end of the day, this is how he gonna make his money, pay his bills.
Yeah.
So like. He
got kids too.
Man, he got kids too. But what was beneficial was that his company was all in-house. So like the finance people, they all worked in the same building. So it wasn't like I had to call somebody else, or it was like the system was already working together. So that was very beneficial for me.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, well, yeah, shout out to you. I know you got you sold that one, got a new one on the move.
Yeah. So
So what's the difference between the first time and the second time? What was that? The process like? Was it quicker, smoother, a little easier? You feel? What was that
man,
like?
because we bought last summer, which was like I feel like one of the worst
Crazy.
times to ever buy a home.
Other than
So
right
it was
now.
less options available because we moved to the coast. There
Yep.
was less options available. So actually, in the morning that we were coming down to look at a place, they were like sold. Like we're in Portland, waking up to like go visit some places, and we're getting here like those no longer on.
Off the
They're
damn.
gone. So like it made it an easier process to know, like, to explain what I want. You know, saying, are you available to show me? I'm on my way this time. I had a little bit more confidence in it, and it cost more money. So
And it costs more.
the first home I did get, I got a first time homeowner. I got an
Oh yeah, the
FHA loan.
FHA, yeah.
So you learn about the do's and don'ts. There was like a clause, and I don't really think that people actually monitor this stuff, but it was like a clause where you like can't. I think it was like you can't. Like I wasn't supposed to rent it out for 5 years.
Yeah, I was
Or
about to
something. Like
say
this
that
had to
was the
be my
one.
main.
Mhm. Your
Yeah.
main house, yeah, the place of
Yeah. So I
living.
got, man. Yeah, there was stuff like that, but
So ain't nobody pulling up and
ain't
checking.
nobody pulling all this stuff up. Yeah, they just want to make sure you're good. And the one thing with FHA, which is you could bring your down payment can be lower percentage.
Yep. Rather than 20% down like the conventional.
Yeah, so you can
Mhm.
get, you could
I
get
hear
between.
also if
Yeah.
you move, I believe like 1,000 miles away or something like that, you could use it again. You know about that?
From my knowledge is you could use it you can use it one time in every state.
Oh,
So like from what I know is like if you were in Oregon and you got an FHA loan, you can go to Washington and get an FHA loan.
so I'm gonna go from
That
Portland to
was
Vancouver.
2017. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like if I'm going to Portland to Vancouver, like you could do that. I don't understand if it was what you said was correct or not correct. But what
Yeah, it's
I
some.
got from it was like
Yeah,
you could do it once in every place or something like that. That's what they were telling me. Yeah,
makes
anyway.
sense. I do know there's restrictions and stuff a little harder, and I know
Yeah.
like sellers don't really want that as much. And then, but it worked out for y'all, so that's what's good.
Man, so
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
and
No, that's what's up.
so yeah, the process can be intimidating, especially like the knowledge that you don't know. You know, I mean, people know more information now. Like you got Instagram people who talk about this all day, or
Yeah,
podcasts. Podcasts was a thing in 2017, but not really. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. It
it was,
was out, but it was not popping. It was kind of
yeah.
weird actually.
You
It's
know what I'm
like this is
saying?
not like
Nobody
an
was,
interview. It's kind of like a guy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it was like more of an audiobook type thing back, in my opinion. 2017. So these
yeah.
are
A lot
just
has
me
changed.
listening to elders or me talk to my family, but my wife she was scared. She thought we was gonna be homeless or something. I took a leap of
Hey,
faith.
you know how the ladies be. They want to make sure they got that guaranteed security.
Man, so I think the house, I gotta look it up. It was between what I ended up paying was between 225 and 230. I didn't spend the whole 250 or whatever they gave me. Like I didn't spend all that. I had the people do closing costs and all that stuff, so
Yeah, smart.
it decreased my down payment, and so I had to hardball with them. Like at a point, my realtor wasn't trying to go hard for me for a second. I'm like, well, you don't get paid. Hey, I don't care, whatever. Like I go
Yeah,
look somewhere else. Like I'm
yeah.
not
You go
married to this house. I ain't moved in. It's like it's cool.
yeah.
And so at one point, paperwork had came in or something, and he was like trying to have me sign on. You do the Adobe
The
signature on your
no,
phone when
yeah,
the
yeah,
PDF type stuff.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, this ain't right. Like I know how to read. That's one thing about me. Oh man.
Yeah, because you can't let no one play you, especially if you reading the stuff yourself. That's always I read the terms and conditions, even if I
You
know I'm gonna
gotta
sign it.
read,
I'm
bro.
gonna still at least skim read it to figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
what
You gotta
clause in
read
there.
what's addressed. Yeah, what those
Yeah,
percentages looking like.
especially when the guys trying to have you sign, they selling something, so they gonna be out when the shit
They,
goes down. So
I
I
mean, they
understand.
sharks, man. They sharks. But like
Yeah,
you come from athletic background, or like you come from the hood, like when somebody trying to get over on you, for the most part, like
yes,
stand your
every
ground, like
time.
it is
Yeah,
what it is. So I had to return it a couple of times, like no. I said closing costs. You know what I'm saying? I have Ashley go over it, but I look at it first and see before I talk to her, like see what she see. It's like, oh, the closing cost is wrong, or we asked for them to do this, and closing costs can be $8,000 to $12,000. Like,
yeah, because we've been
that could double up your down payment. Could set you back.
Yeah, you don't want that. You got to make every dollar count. Like, because we definitely been looking around, and we in a kind of position, like you said, your cousin or whoever you was talking to, it's expensive out here.
Yeah.
So we trying to wait it out a little bit, keep getting that passive income, hustling and just putting our feet back out on the soil to go hunt again later. But
right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's ups and downs though. Like with the property, I just sold it and I moved out 2019, so I had tenants in there. You know what I'm saying? I did all that landlord.
Wait, so you sold it with tenants in there then?
It
was cash flowing
at the end of the lease. So I was making like between those couple years, I was making between like $500 to $900 a month. But when I tell you that stuff add up, it ain't
landlord is hard out here.
It's hard, man. You got to read the law. You need the lawyers. People try to. It's just like a business. Like business, in my opinion, which might not. I'm not saying you're gonna agree with this or not.
Yeah.
But all it is people trying to get over on you. You know what I mean? Like you got a storefront. People want to get a discount. People want to steal. You know what I mean? People want everything to go on their terms. But you know what I mean? So there were things like that, or like your furnace might go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you might have made 5 bands that year, and then that furnace gonna cost you 55. You might be down 500. You know what I mean? But it's times where it's lovely though. Like you know what I'm saying? I would pay like my car note would get paid every month from this money, this cash flow. There's things
that feel good though.
Yeah, it's nice. But then it's times where like that faucet might leak or something, or you know what I mean? Some of it's minor, but then you got to damage control. You know what I mean? You got to know how to talk to people and speak to people. So it was fun for a little while. For me, it started getting more challenging the further I moved away from the area.
Yeah, you on the other side of the country.
You can't check on your property. You're saying you hire property managers and they don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. Because a property
Everybody
manager
has their own
got
agenda.
An employee who actually is doing the work, and I understand.
But it was a great experience, and I will do it again. I just want to be a little bit closer to where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure.
With profits, sold it at 100,000 more than what I bought it for. You know what I mean? So, hey, but you gotta pay. You gotta pay money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay the people.
He's like, hey, I made the flip though. You know,
you know what I'm saying? I did my Dougie. You feel me?
Hey, that's what's up. All right, let's slowly start to close out. I want to throw a little, like I said, another plug in for those who peeping game. Make sure y'all run this back because he dropped some jewels on there. And then for Alex too, I'm like, and everybody else who can't purchase right now, I'm telling people, not financial advice, educational advice, but look at Lofty AI. So this is a platform that we use to buy tokenized real estate. So you can buy like basically a piece of a house for a $50 minimum, right? And then you're a part owner with a group of investors. You can get your dividends or your cash flow every single day. You can collect and take part in the appreciation. You get your K1, your name's on the LLC and all that as a part owner. So that's where we at too now. That's why I love the blockchain because I'm like, I ain't got 200K, 250 or 500 right now, or the bank won't give it to me, right? But I do got some bread. We got some cash, so we can at least get us the income and appreciation. And then the cool part too, if you want to resell it, you'll resell it on the marketplace. They'll take it back, send you your money. So some people are like, holding for 9 months to a year. They'll sell it back to the marketplace after it ran up. All real estate is running, and then collect some cash flow and pay a little tax, and you good.
Man, they gonna get their tax. That's for sure.
Always, yeah. Always.
This is my last little bit, and I'm gonna let you close out again because I know that was your closeout. But here,
no, I do my closeout. I gotta slide you out the closeout. I'm recapping a little bit.
I got a homie I went to school with. He's from Florida. He still resides in Florida right now. But he has just like you said, he has a type of LLC corporation business where he asked all the homies to put some money in.
Yep.
And now he's with that money in that pot buying land, buying homes, and buying things
Hey,
like that.
hey, call me. I'm trying to get down.
I got you. I'll share the knowledge
That's
or the
smart.
information with you. But what I wish is like me, you, and the people we know in our areas start getting down like that. Man,
Hey,
these rentals on the coast, man, they nightly rentals. I had monthly rentals when I was in DC. Like that was a monthly. You gonna get your money, man. But now, like you see a little bit of money, I want more now. So like
hey,
I
you
want to do
thirsty
more of the
for it? Yep.
nightly. You know what I
Yep.
mean? More of that
Oh, bro,
nightly.
we'll talk because yeah, that like my sister, a couple of people we know too. It's like you just got to be a community of
Yeah.
investors now. Like, period. That's just
Right.
where we at.
Everybody put,
I mean, that's
you
what
know,
people have been doing to
that's what
build
they've been
wealth.
doing
Oh,
for
yeah,
years and
they just
centuries, but not us.
yeah, like
Into it,
and,
you know.
yeah, like I have people on. It was a few different platforms, right? They got like, what was it Urban Wealth, right? They're doing the thing where they was like, yeah, exactly what your homeboy said. Get your LLC together. If you got at least one accredited investor, right? You put your money in the pot that kind of approves everybody, and then they buying out apartment complexes in Florida, and we know Florida is running up, like
Man,
so stuff like that. And that's what
look at
this other platform, Go Cobuy, they're gonna be on my channel soon. But they're using
yeah,
like the blockchain to help people do, co ownership. Another one too. What was his name? Trivest. Like, so I'm with it. I'm getting
you gotta get
educated
it
on that.
in. And
Yeah.
then there's the other ones I know. Vinny partakes in one of these. Is we still building it to do some things together, but I know he does his own thing with car rentals and stuff like that. It's just like, man,
It's assets.
it's money, man.
At
But you got to,
Turo, they out there using
yeah, you
Turo.
know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
running up on tour. But
Mhm.
it's funner. It's funner having a team, man. It could be stressful trying to be a one man. You know what I mean, at the top of the plank, doing it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Like DJ Khaled say, man, you get an Olympic team to run everything with. You know what I'm saying? You get a big team.
Man. Like, yeah, you gotta have partnerships, team, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely, sharing the money. Always make everybody come back.
Hey.
All right, bro. Always a pleasure. I'm gonna slide you out, do the outro, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
And then let them know. I mean, we ain't doing letting them know where to find. You ain't finding him on this one, y'all.
Hey, I'm gonna come back, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
come
but
back on the
he be
show,
back
man.
though. All right. I'm gonna
All
slide
right.
you out, bro.
Love.
Yep. Hey y'all, so we had a good time with the homie AB. Definitely introduced him to some Algorand, talked about a few projects. Shout out to the Algo fam. Then we went over to home ownership discussions, which I think is a very important conversation. He laid down how the process was for him in 2017, sprinkled a little process in this last year or so, and I feel like we all got some value there. So make sure y'all tap in, hit that like button, and as always, I see you on the next one, y'all. Peace. I'm gone. Algorand. 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 See the crypto, a digital face. 2021 fiat replace. Had to have it. Bank account by Algorand. Large amounts.